The 1969 Camaro might be the most beloved muscle car in America. This could stem from the classic aggressive sheet metal styling, the wide stance, or the fact that over 250,000 units were produced. It certainly is one of my favorite muscle cars, and today I'm going to drive this 1969 Camaro SS pace car, one of only 3,675 produced. I'll show you around the interior, the exterior, and the power plant, and describe how it feels out on the road. This is what I think makes the 69 Camaro so popular, the sporty exterior styling. This car is low, wide, and aggressive, and it was completely redesigned from the previous model year. This car features a new grille, new inset headlights, new door skins, a rising rear quarter panel, and a small discreet spoiler, which I think brings it all together. And since 69 was the final year of production of the first generation Camaro, all of these exciting exterior features were fitted to this car only, allowing it to look fast and powerful, even to someone who didn't know any better.
This car is believed to be one of the highest optioned big block Indy pace cars in existence. It's factory equipped with orange Z28 stripes, orange pinstriping, D80 spoiler, 911 Dover white exterior paint, Z22 Rally Sport equipment, Z27 Super Sport equipment, 787 custom interior seats, a Z12 air induction hood, Z17 rally wheels, which look amazing, Indy Sports power convertible top, 12-bolt rear end, power disc brakes, Endura front bumper, dual outside mirrors, center console gauge packaging with 7,000 RPM tachometer, a luggage rack, Goodyear tires, AM/FM radio, 12-bolt posi rear, and power steering tilt column, and rosewood steering wheel, which looks really nice, but it's entirely too big. Especially since this thing has power steering, that makes the steering on this car extremely light. So that's it for the options. I suppose if you're going to purchase a Camaro Indy pace car signed by Mario Andretti, you go all out on the options. Oh yeah, this thing's signed by the great Mario Andretti. The signature is pristine and it's placed right here in the trunk. Now let's take a look at the interior.
Rectangles are definitely a common theme in this interior. Everything is squared off, everything from the climate control vents to the shift lever. The only things that are round are the steering wheel and the instruments. It kind of gives off an 80s vibe more than a 60s vibe. So I guess you could say that the interior styling might be ahead of its time. I can't say I'm a big fan though. The squared off dashboard and the fake wood accent panels kind of reminds me of an Oldsmobile more than an aggressive muscle car. It's pretty comfortable though. I mean, it's a nice place to be. The seats are orange, which is cool. It's aesthetically pleasing for the most part. It just doesn't feel very race car-y in here.
I know, it's not a race car, but the interior could at least look a little bit more aggressive and driver-focused to match the sporty stock car-looking body, especially considering the Ford Mustang, the Camaro's most direct competitor, was equipped with a much more stylish, rounded-off interior. But the fact is, most late 60s era muscle cars had a similar theme: a squared-off dashboard, fake wood accent panels, and analog instruments that gave the driver just enough information to know their engine was probably not going to blow up. It's things like this, like the not-so-special interior, that allowed Chevy to offer this car for so cheap. In 1969, a brand new Camaro SS could be purchased for around $3,500, which in today's climate is only $25,000. In 2020, a brand new Camaro SS will run you about $44,000. Of course, you get a lot more car for your money, but you certainly don't feel as special driving it. Now it's time to look at that big block 396. This car had a number of power plant options. It could be fitted with different variations of the 230 or 250 cubic inch inline six, or the 302, 327, 307, 350, 396, and 427 cubic inch V8s. This example being a pace car that wasn't actually used in a race features the SS or Super Sport package. It's fitted with the 396 big block V8 and turbo hydromatic 353 speed automatic transmission. This engine produced about 350 horsepower and 450 foot-pounds of torque when it was new, and weighing in at about 3,100 pounds, 350 horsepower gives the Camaro a more than respectable power-to-weight ratio. And now, it's time to do what I've been wanting to do for a long time. Time to get behind the wheel of this old Camaro SS and take it out on the road.
right away, it feels old. Not as old as the C1 Corvette I drove yesterday, but it feels old. I didn't think I would like the automatic transmission for this thing, but it's actually pretty nice. I mean, you're not gonna do any crazy heel-toe downshifts around corners, but that's not what this car's for. This car's to go in a straight line, and honestly, even an old Hydromatic automatic transmission like this is gonna be faster than you can shift a manual one of these. So it's not bad. Kept the turn signal on. It does not automatically turn off the turn signal when you turn it back, like a motorcycle. You got to turn it off every time you straighten it up. The ride is kind of rough for how loose the suspension is. The ride is pretty rough. I don't know if that's just because of the old suspension or because of the or if that's just how they are. The Corvette was the same way. I hate to say it, but I love the automatic transmission.
Really?
I seriously love it. Like, I don't have to worry about, like, in my car it's different, you know, because I want to go around corners and I want to downshift, I want to rev match. But in this thing, I don't even have the desire to do that. You know what I mean? I mean, maybe if I was actually going faster and actually going around corners, but that's not what this car's made for. The steering is definitely vague. The centering, it's not centered. I'm going straight right now. It might just be because of the curvature in the road, but I'm turning slightly left and going straight. And look at all that play in the steering wheel. I'm barely moving when I'm moving like 4 inches in either direction. But that's what I expected. I mean, that's how old cars are. They just don't have the precise steering like the newer models. We'll see how it is around bends up here in a little bit. And also, I was thinking that 3 speeds wouldn't be enough, but these gears, I can't tell if they're tall or if they're short, but anytime I push the accelerator, we have torque. And that's awesome. I don't know if that's because of the transmission or because of the 350 horsepower and a bunch of torque that we have. Well, we'll get a nice turn around this one. It's not horrible. I mean, I'm not going fast around that turn. It's not my car, so I'm not going to be destroying the suspension, but it's not horrible. Definitely, if you need to snap it over back into a right turn, it's not gonna go well with that. All right, I'm gonna slow it down here so I can get a nice torquey pull up this little hill here. Probably starting in third. We're gonna go ahead and give it a nice. That was only 3,500 RPM got up to, and we went 30 to 60 in that one. I mean, it's not crazy fast. I'm sure it was a lot faster 40 years ago, but it wasn't bad. Definitely a lot of low-end torque. Maybe that's a scenario where I would want the 4-speed manual so I can downshift as I please. Smell a little bit of oil burning too, as to be expected, but not bad. This car doesn't make you want to floor it. It doesn't make you want to whip it around corners. It just makes you want to sit here going a little bit higher than the speed limit and just cruising. I've never had a car like that. I've never driven a car that made me want to do that, and it's something special.
Driving the '69 Camaro SS was a one-of-a-kind experience. It drove pretty much like I thought it would. It's a very easy car to drive. Anyone from your 15-year-old to your grandmother could handle it no problem. It doesn't like corners or bumps. It's powerful and quick in a straight line. It sounds like a classic American V8. And I think it's absolutely worth the $3,500 asking price in 1969. Now, is it worth the current asking price of around 80 grand? Well, if you look at it at a purely materials and capabilities standpoint, then absolutely not. But people buy this car as an investment. They buy this car based on how it makes them feel. And considering I drove this car for about 30 minutes, and in that time I counted 10 different people look at me and make some sort of nice car gesture, this car certainly makes you feel special.
That is beautiful!
Thanks, dude.